I'm ready to splash and burn.
No border. I am going to be uncomfortable and all over you from start to finish.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Outside of the Box. And today I have a couple of builders with me. I have Cole, who has built Nubert in the past, and I also have Josh, who has built Red Hawk. And I understand that they're going to be working on something together. So welcome both of you to the show, and I'm excited to hear about this.
Yeah, hello, I'm Josh, and I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Cole. I built Nubert. I'm planning on building some more cool robots in the future. And yeah, it should be fun.
Awesome. What got both of you into building? Were you in any of the programs that they have in the schools, or you just kind of, saw it and decided, hey, this is something I want to do?
Yeah, I was on a vacation and I saw an episode of BattleBots on the TV at the hotel, and I decided, wow, that looks really cool, and I thought I wanted to do that. So I started researching robots, like competitions, and we ended up finding a kit called the Vector, which unfortunately got discontinued, but that's where we started, and that evolved into what Red Hawk is today.
So I also saw BattleBots on TV, and I was really obsessed with it for a while. But I didn't really want to truly I just thought it was cool. I didn't really want to build anything up until the point where my cousin Jared from the MIT Combat Robotics Club joins Team Uppercut, and Uppercut was such a hard favorite for me, and he was the one who inspired me to build robots, and it was really cool having a cousin who was on BattleBot's team.
That is pretty awesome. Now, how did you both become aware of NHRL? Because I mean, it's been around for a while. It certainly has grown, but as much as I love combat robotics, it's not even something that I became aware of until the middle of last year. So how did you both find out about it?
Well, like I said, when I was researching events and competitions, we happened to come across NHRL, and me being in New Hampshire just so happened to be about 3 hours away. And I came back in 2021 very early. So it wasn't as big as it is today, but it was still first event at the new location, actually. Yeah.
So back from 2020, when I built my first robot, which was a Viper kit, I was aware that NHRL had existed. I was just a little grumpy because didn't have 1 pound class, couldn't really compete in it. And I just knew it existed, and I was kind of mad about it. But and I built my first 3 pound bot, and I made a friend there, and he was like, hey, do you want to come with me to NHRL? And I was like, sure. And it was an amazing experience, and I was like, we need to build something for this competition. This is amazing. I love being here, and here I am.
Absolutely. It is, they're very fun events, very competitive, but I think that they're definitely lots of fun. Now for each of you, with the bots that you would be, more known for, and Cole for Nubert, for example, how was that process of, building that, and how did you feel about how you were able to do with it?
So so my first 3 pound robot was actually a wedge, and it couldn't fight an HRL, but the inspiration to build a fingertech vehicle bar with Nubert. I think I have it behind me, right? The inspiration to build a fingertech beer bar was because there were a lot of those at the first event I was at with that wedge pot. And it just seemed like the best place to start out for a 3-pound robot. So we were like, let's build this. And like, to be honest, like, there are like some advantages and disadvantages to having Nubert. Like, I've modified it, our team has modified it to be a pretty good robot. It's pretty powerful enough. But like, I just wish I had a robot that was like kind of unique. People say beer bars are really like the meta, and really just like kind of contributing to the meta. And like, I'm still going to keep this robot for a while though. I really like it. I like how it's doing at NHRL.
Awesome. What about you, Josh, with Red Hawk?
Well, like I said, started with a vector kit. And at that point, I mean, all I really knew about, I knew about like the big 3 kits, which was the Vector, the FingerTech beater bar, and the D2 kit. And we ended up choosing the Vector because I was thinking about building a 1-pound horizontal that I had seen a tutorial online. But we found a kit and we figured this would be a better option since it had all the instructions and parts right there. And ended up just decided to continue to develop it, and now of course it looks completely different than the vector kit, but the vector kit I would recommend the vector kit if it was still around today.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely, since those earlier kits, there's definitely a lot more options out there from a kit perspective. Obviously SSP is pretty huge right now, and there's some other ones out there as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm just curious now, you're working on this new project together. What can you tell me about that?
Cole, you want to start?
Yeah. So it is an SSP kit, and so right now it is just like soldered electronics put into like a robot chassis. We've got like the lifter working. Like, I live in Connecticut, he lives in New Hampshire, so it's kind of tough for us to find time to meet up. We're meeting up this weekend though, so we think we can finish it maybe at that time. And it's mainly lifter, and we could run it that way, but it's also going to have something else, and that's something else I kind of want to keep secret. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting though. I think people will like it. I don't even know if that something else will get built in time though, and if it's not, that's okay. But I'm okay with running it just as a lifter, but it's something that's gonna break the meta, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I was basically thinking the same thing. We have basically kind of like a secret weapon almost. Not really used at all, but it's gonna probably be a first for Norwalk.
That's awesome. And that's pretty crazy because I've seen some really interesting stuff at Norwalk. So anything that's a first is pretty exciting. Awesome. Well, you both had also said, you were really big fans of BattleBots. I'm just curious, watching that show, what are some of both of your favorite robots, either that you saw when you first started watching it, or that compete today?
Well, one of my favorite robots, of course, would be a Tombstone, hence another reason why I chose to go with a horizontal spinner bot. I'm also a fan of a Claw Viper, and those are probably my top 2. I've also really enjoyed watching Ribot.
Cool.
Yeah. So obviously, since my cousin is on its team, I really am a big fan of Uppercut, and I don't really have other than Uppercut, don't really have a huge favorite in particular. But I will say that robots like Perfect Phoenix and Rampage that have like come from like kind of kid builders, like were part of like what inspired me to build my own robots. That shows like anyone, any age can do it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, we've seen that certainly at BattleBots a little bit, but I think we see that a lot more at NHRL and some of the smaller competitions, because there's just a pretty wide range of builders that come to that. Now, speaking of NHRL, are there any bots, besides your own that you've seen there that you're like, hey, that's really cool?
I'm pretty much just inspired and shocked by what any other horizontals can pull off, since I see all sorts of different versions of modified vector kits. Like I see a bot like Beetlejuice, for example, another modified vector kit, ER Stingray. It's countless different bots out there, and they all take their own separate paths. And I've also, now with the SSP kit, started taking a liking to control bots.
So I am what was I gonna say? All right. So really the robot that has inspired me so much at NHRL is Spartan. It is like such an amazing robot. I fought it once with Nubert. It is no joke. And um I'm signed up for Rookie Academy, and at Rookie Academy I plan on building a robot that's called Blitz that is designed to rival Spartan and be similar to its design. I hope I might be able to do that. I don't know. But anyways, I really love Spartan. It's a cool bot with an amazing builder. Johnny's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many amazing people at Norwalk, and I think that that's really great, because for newer builders such as yourselves, it's really easy to get a chance to talk to somebody and get feedback and advice and like direction on how to take things with your robot to make it better. Have you, when you've gone to events, have you found that to be the case where it's pretty easy to get people to talk to and kind of give you help and information?
Oh yeah, like I mean, it's all like just one big community. Everybody's really friendly to each other, and I mean, you can start. I mean, like how me and Cole became friends, for example. Like a friendship can start literally right off of a fight. I mean, like that's how we met. We ended up fighting each other. So yeah, everybody's really friendly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool community. Like at NHRL, like there isn't really a place where I feel more accepted by like a vast amount of people who do the same things I do, build robots that want to kill each other. And yeah, I've met some pretty nice people there, including Josh. And yeah, it's really nice.
Awesome. And also I did, want to ask, and obviously that may be a little ways off, but I know, Cole, I had seen something about, you having aspirations to eventually build a 250-pound robot. Is that still something that you want to do in the future? And, is it more just like, hey, need a couple of years to try and get that going?
Certainly, I definitely want someday, like when I'm like in college level or something, I'm gonna try to like just get some people who are like into engineering, and my aunt, if she wants to. Um, Actually, my plan for a 250-pound bot is that the Blitz design, which I mentioned before, I want that to slowly be scaled up once it gets like built. And it would be cool to have like a kind of like a Spartan style robot on BattleBots. I think that would be really cool. Yeah. that's really as far as my plans go for a 250-pound bot.
Well,
Other than that,
Johnny's already teased after Image, so he may have a 250-pound bot of his own, and wouldn't it
Yeah.
be crazy to fight that?
yeah, from what I've seen, it looks crazy. And it's nice that he's gonna get a preview of the experience for season 7 with Team Malice, and he's just really come so far in this sport.
Did you have any other thoughts on that, Josh? Because I don't know if Cole does a 250-pound, I wasn't sure if he was going to have you in on that or not.
I mean, I've been thinking of like maybe doing a 250-pound, like pretty much as soon as I saw BattleBots, and we decided 3-pound was a good place to start. But if I was doing 250, I'd just want to do pretty much just scaled up Red Hawk, kind of like how we saw like a scaled up like Emulsifier, like a scaled up Star Child, basically like the same idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely they're very similar, but they're also a lot different from everything that I've heard. So obviously, if you both get to that point, I wish you the best of luck. And hopefully learning a lot from having the smaller bots and kind of continuing to iterate on those and try and make them better. Is there any other robot plans? I think you said that you were going to the August NHRL.
Yeah, I've got Red Hawk coming, of course, our new robot, and my brother is bringing his robot obsolete spare parts as well, which is what that is like a horizontal spinner, very similar to Red Hawk, but it's basically like the 2021 version that qualified for the finals. It's like old parts that were, I guess the original idea was to try to just, I guess, find an excuse to test the parts to see if they still work and maybe find an excuse to get rid of them because didn't really have a reason to. So yeah, that's gonna be what's coming up.
So I am going to be having 3 events in 3 weeks. And so July 29th, I'm going to be fighting this Viper kit at Maker Battle. And I'm excited to see it get destroyed. August 5th, Nubert is gonna make its debut to New Jersey. This is its first non-NHRL event, and I'm super excited to see how it does there. If it doesn't get completely wrecked, I hope I'll have it repaired for NHRL, and then it will be the new bot with Josh that will be making its premiere.
Well, that is awesome. I hope that you both have a successful event, or at the very least learn a lot about the bots to continue to continue improving on them. And yeah, I think it's awesome. I'm excited to hear what you're both doing and like the aspirations that you have, and hope that you eventually reach those goals. But yeah, so that's all the questions that I had. But for everyone that's watching the show, definitely this is why I always say support combat robotics, especially for those who are just kind of getting into it and kind of trying to move up through the ranks and things like that. I think that it's so important to have that support, and keep liking, subscribing the show, all of that good stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see everybody next time on the show.